Hey you! I didn't know you were coming over. Well, since you're here, let's get cooking. Meet me in the kitchen. Oh my god, I am so happy you guys decided to come over today. I was just about to cook something so amazing. Coconut shrimp. That's right, coconut shrimp. I think I'm going to do a little island theme today. So, I'm going to get everything ready and we'll get cooking. Did you know that the coconut or cocos are super good for you? It provides meat, water, milk, and oil. And it's just one big seed from one big fruit. The coconut comes from a cocoa fruit that falls from a tree called a palm tree. When it falls, it is later picked, then cut. Once it's cut, it's ready to be sold to your local supermarket or farmer's market, and then it's ready for you to enjoy. Okay guys, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we are going to roast our coconut for about 5 minutes in the oven. We just want to get it going till it's nice and brown. So we're going to get a sheet tray. Just a plain old sheet tray, nothing fancy. Open up my coconut and I'm going to spread it out on the sheet tray. Just make sure you get it all nice and even. The amount you need depends on the amount of shrimp you're going to be cooking. So I'm only going to make a couple of today, just like a little appetizer. So I'm going to do just about a half a cup. So we have that all nice and evenly spread out. So we're going to take this right to the oven. See that? It only took a second, so that's ready to go. We're going to turn that off. I have my beautiful San Francisco Go Niners, Go Giants. So we're going to put that right over here. That is perfect. It's going to cool down and we're going to chop that up in a second. I'm going to use two kind of oils. The first oil, keeping on our coconut theme, is coconut oil. This is raw, organic, vegan oil. It doesn't have to be organic. It doesn't have to be vegan. It just needs to be coconut oil, not the kind that you would get in a beauty supply. You want the kind that you can get in a grocery store. So we're going to put a couple of little scoops of this. I'm going to use my hands because it's easier to get it out. And I have gloves because we want to make sure we're always being safe and we're always being very sanitary. So I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to take about 3 scoops. There's 1, 2, 3. That's going to give us so much flavor, it's ridiculous. Let that heat up. We're going to turn our front on. I have a gas stove, so I can regulate my heat pretty good. I'm going to put that down there on medium. And so I have that coconut oil in there. Now I'm going to put some canola oil. Does not have to be canola oil. It can be any kind of oil you prefer to cook with. Olives, any kind. So I put about a cup of that in there. Again, I'm not putting too much because I am making a small batch. So we're going to let this heat up. We're going to let this combine. It's all going to mix in together. Coconut goodness. Oh, that is so good. So while that's going, let's get our shrimp coated. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and coat our shrimp. I have another glove on because we always want to keep it safe because other people are going to be eating this. So I have here water and flour. This is for our dredging station. Dredging is what you do when you're frying food. So we have our wet. I have flour and water. I've already mixed it. I'm just going to recombine that there. Emulsify it on up. Emulsify basically means you want to combine and mix. So that's there, and that's going to go in the middle of our station. And then on this end, I have rice flour and regular flour. Now, I found out about rice flour visiting an Asian market. This is a rice flour. With the rice flour, it gets your food extra crunchy. So you can buy this at any local, I'm going to guess, artisan store or any Asian store for sure. So I have that combined with some regular flour. You don't have to have the rice flour. You can always just use regular AP flour or wheat flour or gluten-free flour, whatever you're into. So I have those two combined because I just want to get an extra crunch. So those are all mixed up in here. I have about a cup of that in there, again, because I'm only doing a little bit of shrimp. That's going to go first. And then in this last bowl, we're going to put our coconut. Remember I said we're going to go ahead and blend that up. So let me get my little blender ready to go. Let's see, where's my chopper? Where's my chopper? Here we are. Put that in there. I'm going to take my coconut and put it right into the chopper. Move that out the way. So there's my coconut, all in the chopper, ready to go. I'm going to put the lid on and let it post. Now I want this to be a crumble. I don't necessarily want it to be flaky or powdery. I want it somewhere in the middle. I just want to be able to evenly coat all of my shrimp. So let's look at that and see how that looks. I think that's good. I think that's really good. So we're going to take that and put it in our bowl here. Wants to let it go. Put that to the side. Put that in our bowl. And there you got it. It looks just like breadcrumbs, basically. See that? So that's going to go last. So this is your dredging station. So we have what we're going to dredge. We have our dry. We have our wet. And then we have our last dry. And when you're dredging, you're always going to go what you're dredging. Dry, wet, dry. So I'm going to take my shrimp with my gloved hand. This shrimp has already been peeled. I left the tails on for the look. It's been deveined also. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it in our dry. Get it all nicely coated and mixed. Then we're going to drop that into our wet. I have this spoon here because it helps not make your fingers all clunky from the flour in the egg. I'm sorry, from the flour in the wash. So now that's in the wet, we're going to go ahead and put that in the dry. And we're just going to toss it around until it's nice and evenly coated. So you want it to look something like this. So we're going to take that right over to our oil. Remember we had our coconut oil and our canola oil combined, ready to go. You want to see if that's nice and hot and if it's good for frying. You're going to take something like flour, or in this case I'm going to do some breadcrumbs, and we're just going to drop it in. You see how it starts to fizz and bubble up? That's how you know your grease is ready to go. So that's nice and hot and that's perfect for frying. We're going to take our shrimp and drop it right in the oil. Now fish cooks very fast. If you're cooking something like a fillet, it's only going to take you about 15 minutes at the most to get that fully cooked. If you're cooking something like shrimp, it's going to take 2 to 3 minutes to cook once it's all defrosted, or if it's just raw and not frozen, it's going to take even quicker, maybe 3 minutes at the most. Okay, I got my tongs. And I'm just going to split the shrimp because I see that it has come up, the oil has come up to the side. So that kind of tells me it's ready to flip. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Look how pretty that is. Ooh, that's going to be nice. So, like I said, shrimp cooks very, very fast when it's raw. So that took less than a minute actually. So while the other side is cooking, that's going to take another minute and it's going to be pretty much done. I'm going to get my plate so I can go ahead and put that on there. So here, I just have a regular plate and just a napkin from a fast food joint. Nothing fancy. If you have a paper bag, you can open that up and spread that on there as well, or use any kind of paper towels you may have. So we're going to put that right here. Just going to let our shrimp go. Done. Look at that. Oh, dropped it. No. There we go. Okay, we're going to turn our heat off. Coming on that, friend. Look how beautiful that is. Aren't you hungry? And aren't you going to tear that up? I have our shrimp all nicely coated and cooked. Come in closer, friend. Let's get a look at this. Look how brown it is. Lovely, lovely. Now that we have it all nice and brown and cooked and ready to go, let's put it on a plate, get it looking pretty. Alright, we have our shrimp all crunchy, yummy, coconutty, and ready to go. I assembled it, made it beautiful, and here's the end result. Ta-da! Look how beautiful that is. We have our beautiful sauce here with pineapple, cilantro, lime, and yogurt, and we have our coconut shrimp. So it looks good. I know me and you are going to eat it, but I think we need a second opinion. Let's go take it to one of our friends and see what they think. Alright, now that we're all done cooking, we're going to go over to our neighbors and see what they think. It's always good to get a second opinion, more than your own. Because, hey, we all think our food's good, right? I hope they're home. Hey, neighbor. Hey. I made some coconut shrimp, and I would like to see what your opinion is on it.
It looked great.
Thank you. Good?
Real good.
Thank you. See, it's always fun to share, and it's always fun to cook. With a little bit of ingredients and a lot of love, you can make anything spectacular. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Now that I'm done, it's your turn. Go out and cook something.